just hasn't seemed like they've had any rhythm in their offense, Chris. There's no, I think they've ran the ball a handful of times with McDonald, but he can't do it all on his own either. So any of his receivers, his leading receivers who haven't been too active so far, Christian Brooks, the 5'11 freshman, and I haven't even called his name on a reception yet.
Well, the Mounties have looked to potentially fumble the football here on their return, and sure enough, they're going to say it was just that.
It was a miscommunication with Aaron Bonds back in coverage. I
don't know about. They're going to talk about this one. I believe Vons called for a fair catch.
He kind of ran into another Mountie teammate and then one of the Grossmont Griffins.
But was the Mountie teammate pushed into him? I believe that's what the discussion is down on the field between our officiating crew. If the play stands, it's Grossmont football at the Mountie 47. It will be the second time tonight that the Griffins have forced a turnover as the officials are still huddling up right around midfield to try and decide what this call is. Coach Jastrab anxiously awaiting to see if this will, in fact, be the second turnover of the night for the Mounties. And I believe the play is going to stand.
The defense is on the field for the Mounties right now as if it will be Grossmont ball.
Will be Grossmont ball, but they will push it back to the 49. No, the 46 now.
Oh, it's Mountie ball.
Well, wait. Illegal touching. So just as we suspected. You can't run into a guy when he calls for a fair catch.
That was just like the Carolina-Chicago game last week. Called for a fair catch, and the Panther got pummeled. Ended up bouncing off of one of the Bears, making it an active ball, and ran it in for a touchdown.
So the mistakes continue to pile up for Grossmont. The Mounties will start at their own 49. I don't know where the penalty's not even enforced here. It's a 15-yarder.
Spot on the foul?
Who knows? Odd officiating, to say the least, on that one. Mounties will start at their own 49. Handoff Tolbert. He'll dive ahead into Grossmont territory to the 45 for a pickup of 6 on first down. We're 3.5 minutes away from halftime. 24-0 the Mounties lead here over Grossmont College. A couple of rushing touchdowns to start it off for the Mounties, courtesy of Omaris Tolbert and Aaron Vons, and a 52-yard pass from Justin Allo to Antoine Anderson, his second touchdown reception of the season. First one since week 2 against Fullerton on a 2nd and 4 here. Screen pass out to the near side of the field. Incomplete. Allo threw it over the head of Ryan Simpson, the 5'8 slot man. Incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and 4.
I really like the use of Tolbert so far in this game with so many running backs that are at option here or disposal for the Mounties with Tony Gates and Aaron Vons and Brandon Wilson, the up back also on occasion, who's in the game right now. But Tolbert's getting used in this game as his carries kind of have dwindled down game by game.
On a 3rd and 3, Allo will drop back to pass. He'll complete it. This is Christopher Gilchrist inside the 35 down to the 33. Move the chains for the Mounties. The former Florida Atlantic Owl transfer here to Mount SAC last year, pulls down the reception. And with 3:07 left to go before the half, the Mounties move the chain and will look to build on this 24-0 advantage.
Such a big frame Christopher Gilchrist brings at 6'6". He also is very fast along the sideline. So another beautiful throw by Justin Allo to his receiver Gilchrist.
On a 1st and 10 for the Mounties at the Grossmont 34. Snap is back. Allo pressured. He'll take a shot for Gilchrist deep downfield, but the pass is incomplete. Flag flies in from the back judge, who was at the near side of the field in the end zone. And my guess is that this one will be a pass interference against Grossmont. The penalties continue to pile up for the Griffins. The mental errors continue to pile up for Grossmont, and it's a big part in why Mount SAC's up by 24 right now. And Grossmont a big goose egg on the board.
So it is pass interference, just as you called it, Chris.
I guessed it.
Automatic first down for the Mounties. Whether you guessed it or not, it's official now.
That's all that matters.
So first
half
down
the distance
for
to the goal.
The Mounties.
Another red zone opportunity.
Great position here to tack on some more points for the Mounties.
So up 24-0 with 2:40 left to go in the second quarter. The Mounties will get the ball at the Grossmont 18-yard line after the PI call against the Griffins. The snap is back. Allo, he'll hand to Vons. Vons spinning out of a tackle and goes down after a pickup of maybe half a yard. Grossmont, sure, the Mounties have broken off a couple of big runs tonight, but for the most part, they've been containing up the middle.
Yeah, that was led by Ryden Kerr, the 5'11", 215-pound linebacker. He is also a freshman.
Really? Is he the only one getting PT tonight that's a freshman?
I think their whole roster, except for a few slots, are first-year freshman players.
2nd and 10. Flags fly in before the snap was back into the hands of the Mountie quarterback, Justin Allo. And it's a false start on Mount SAC. The referees caught Frank Vieira, the 6'1", 280 freshman O-lineman at a Bishop Amat High School. Bishop Amat, a big victory over Alemany, who was the number 2 ranked team in Southern California last night on the road. Bishop Amat got it done a week after taking down Gardena Serra. So Vieira comes from a powerhouse high school in the Mission League. After the penalty, it's a 2nd and 15. Mounties have it at the Grossmont 23. Allo pressured, now flushed out to his right. A flag is down in the area of holding. He'll get inside the 15 and step out at the 14, but I have a feeling this one is also coming back.
So not an ideal way to end the half here. Back-to-back penalties on the Mounties, waiting officially on the call with just a minute 41. You want to head into the locker room, ideally with more points and less penalties, but right now the Mounties are kind of taking their lead out of the game, so to speak. So
taking their lead lightly, block in the back against Mount SAC, and this will back it up 15 more yards.
I was going to say that's a 15-yarder. So
2nd and 30 upcoming for Mount SAC after a couple of penalties. It's not the way you want to head into halftime. Even when you're up 24-0, and this is what we're going to play the interview with myself and Coach Jastrab. I got it on Wednesday, but he was telling me that even in wins, he's always looking for ways to help his team get better, and I'm sure looking at the game film for what should be a win in this one against Grossmont, up by 24. Penalties is certainly going to be something that he touches on. So after the block in the back, 2nd and 30 for the Mounties. The ball now perhaps out of field goal range. 2nd and 30. Ball at the Grossmont 38. Delayed handoff. Tolbert gets to the near side of the field inside the 35 and tiptoes his way to the 31 for a pickup of 7. It'll bring up a 3rd and 21.
Joshua McCarron on the tackle against Tolbert. It took him and 2 of his teammates to bring down Tolbert. So he just continues to run hard for the Mounties tonight here at Hilmer Lodge Stadium.
3rd and 23. The Mounties, I don't know if you could say it last week, but the only way that they're going to lose a game like this is if they beat themselves.
That's right.
It's kind of what Riverside did when they played Grossmont.
And penalties won't help you secure this game.
Won't make one Bob Jastrab happy. This might make a Coach Jastrab happy as the pass is complete to Ryan Simpson in the end zone. That's a Mountie touchdown.
So the Mounties ending this first half with an exclamation point. Ryan Simpson getting involved on the scoring as well. As that was a 5'8", 160 wideout for the Mounties out of Pasadena. Hauls in his first touchdown of the game.
32 yards from Justin Allo to Ryan Simpson. Alberto Villarreal, he'll add the PAT, and with 32 seconds left to go in the first half of action from Hilmer Lodge Stadium, it's 31-0. The Mounties all over Grossmont College, and coming off of a loss last week, we were kind of uncertain at how the Mounties would come out. Would they come down a little bit flat after the big emotional loss at Long Beach last week? Well, the answer to that, no. 31-0. They're going to take this lead into the half.
Yeah, very impressive first half by the Mounties here. As like you mentioned, it was such an emotional roller coaster last week out in Long Beach. Let's try not to bring that up anymore. I know I mentioned it a handful of times.
We can use it as motivation. I'm sure that's what Coach Jabs is doing in between the week. He tells his boys when they're slacking off, don't forget Long Beach Pizza.
I had mentioned it early on in the broadcast a handful of times, and I said, hopefully that will be the last time that I mention it, but I would just, it's so important, like you mentioned. And then mentally, you got to clean your head and gear up after you win or lose a game like that with such high implications between a number 1 and number 2 ranked team in Mount SAC and Long Beach.
Alberto Villarreal will send a end-over-end kick that'll be taken at the 2-yard line by the Griffins. This is Kevin Moore getting across the 15, and he's tackled out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. And 26 seconds left to play with. If you're Coach Jordan in Grossmont, you're obviously not content going down into the locker room by 31 points, but in order to make the deficit only 31, you might see Jordan with the conservative play calls here to just run out this final 26 seconds.
I would, because you air out the ball, say it gets picked, possibly a pick 6 as they start at under the 20-yard line. Yeah, that'll be even worse. So they decide to go with a run here.
Yeah, the give goes to Ryan Williams, and he has a big gaping hole over left tackle, gets across the 30 to the 35 for a pickup of 15 on first down, and perhaps that gives the Griffins the option of maybe airing one out deep here with 18 seconds left to go. I wouldn't discount it. Never know. Snap is back. Carrillo out to the left, and Carrillo across the 40 to the 45-yard line. It'll pick up another first down, but now just 4 seconds remaining, and Grossmont will call their first charged timeout of the half, and we might see a little heave to the end zone here, what many like to call a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity, but I still, with 4 seconds left, I personally would. Christian Brooks is one of their wideouts who's a very key component here, and you have a lot of height with their wideout unit with Adonis Todd and Kevin Moore, 6'4" and 6'5". So you have options out there if Carrillo decides to throw down the field. As they provided pretty big frames there. Mount SAC's DBs also. They're not in the 6-foot range. Well, there's a few. Joseph Bryant is a 6-foot DB.
Well, the Mounties will come out in their prevent defense and hope to not look like USC last week against Arizona State.
Yeah. Don't wait for the ball. Attack it.
Attack it. Bat that thing down. 1st and 10. Carrillo, he'll drop back to pass. He'll just dump off the screen pass to the far side of the field. This Mountie territory inside the 40, but that's not going to matter as he's finally tackled at the 34. Time is run out in this first half from Hilmer Lodge Stadium. It's all Mounties 31-0 as we head to the half. Coming up is an interview with Mountie head coach Bob Jastrab, as the players and ourselves like to call him Coach Jabs. We'll also get you caught up on scores and stats from around junior college football up next on the Mountie Football Radio Network on Spreaker.
Who is the team to beat in the National Football League as we begin preseason action? NFL insider Robert Dieters is up next on National Sports. The story of the 2013 Major League season has been the resurgence of the Dodgers, led by Yasiel Puig. How realistic of a shot does Los Angeles have at making the World Series? Jason Gerline leads the roundup next on National Sports. Your presentation of National Sports is brought to you by Spreaker.com. Broadcast and listen to news, radio, and music with one low monthly rate. Your show will be right back after this word from the local stations. You can contact National Sports in a number of ways through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with the label National Sports.